Uhuru!
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 Uhuru, you lie.
Uhuru, comrades!
Uhuru!
I said Uhuru.
Uhuru!
Uhuru is a Swahili word that means freedom. My name is Fofi, and I am one of your MCs today. I am a lifetime member of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. Aquaba, which means welcome. Welcome to Aquaba Hall, our beautiful hall that Black hands built. Let the African people, led by the African People's Socialist Party, the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement is a mass organization founded in 1991 and is the leading organization in the struggle for bread, peace, and Black power in the 21st century. To join today, go to InPDUM.org/today and select the membership level. We'll talk more about that later. Our community rallies are held every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. You can always view it in person or here at Burning Spear News YouTube channel or on Facebook. The democratic right, like reparations and freedom of speech, the Black people found Black people fought for over 100 years is under attack. Just the movement to join the movement to continue the fight and stand up for freedom on every level. Our community rallies are your community rallies, and we must demand, I gotta take these off, and we must demand of ourselves and commitment to organization. This is to build the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. Today is another of our special meetings today. To deal with the lack of response from the devastating effect our community has experienced since the May 16th EF3 tornado hit the African community, the Black community. When I say African, I mean Black for some, and if I say Black, I mean African for some. But it's all the same devastation that's held around the North City. Next, can I ask you to please stand as we sing our African Nation fight song? The lyrics will be online. Africa, we are winning. Shout Uhuru,
are one. We are winning. Viva Haiti, who first set us free. We are winning. Carry the torch of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. We are winning. Coup peut-être, nous les cailles. We are winning. We will rejoice when the colonizers die. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world our creation. 1 billion strong, yes we are one. We are winning. Fight like Fannie Lou and Malcolm too. We are winning. Remember our struggle, always be true. We are winning. From Harlem to Brazil to Tanzania. We are winning. We fight and live for free Africa. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world our creation. 1 billion strong, yes we are one. We are winning. Patrice Lumumba's life won't be in vain. We are winning. Keep up the work in Marcus Garvey's name. We are winning. Independent and free is what we will be. We are winning. Africa will bask in our victory. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world our creation. 1 billion strong, yes we are one. We are
Winning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I would like to bring to your to the podium, Comrade Jason Westbrook, the the president of the St. Louis branch of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. Uhuru!
Stop! Stop! Eat right like two. Uhuru. This is a fight back, y'all. The fight not over. Fight is not over. Right now, this part of the agenda is our political education. And we will be dealing with point 1 of the 14-point working platform of the African People's Socialist Party. And I think it was good for us to not only start at point 1 to get reiterate with our 14 points, but we feel that point 1 is dealing with our current conditions on the north side and west side of St. Louis. Uhuru. So, point one. We want peace, dignity, and the right to build a prosperous life through our own labor and in our own interests. Sorry. I said we want peace, dignity, and a right to build a prosperous life through our own labor and in our own interest. We believe that the U.S. North American government and society was founded on the genocide of the native people, the theft of their land, and the forcible dispersal, enslavement, and colonization of millions of African people. We believe that the present condition of existence for African people within the U.S. borders is colonialism, a condition of existence where a whole people is oppressively dominated by a foreign and alien state power for the purpose of economic exploitation and political advantage. We believe further that this colonial domination is the primary basis of the problems of African people within the U.S., and that we shall know neither peace, prosperity, nor human dignity until this colonialist domination is overthrown and the power of our lives rests in our own hand. African people have the right to live a good life through our own labor and our own interests. We have the right to live a good life.
Yes.
But we know, unfortunately, it's the other way around.
Yes.
We know that the elite, we know the upperclassmen, we know the capitalists, they live at our expense.
Yes.
The workers poor. The Delmore Divide. All of the people on the south of Delmore live at the expense of the folks on the north of Delmore. We also understand this because when we go and work for whomever, the ruling class, we tend not to have a check to meet us till the next paycheck. We tend to either have to borrow from Paul to pay Peter. You know how that goes. We don't have enough money to pay this bill, so we decide to pay that bill. This bill gonna have to go without. But it's unfortunately that we spend more than 40 hours a week. Our bodies is tired. So you would think that our pockets will show us the difference. But no, our pockets is empty. Our body is empty. We have no energy. We can't go on, but we know that we got to go on regardless of how many times you push snooze. Because if you don't go on, you will get what? Fired. But we know that we should have the right, and we believe that African people have the right to have a good life through our own labor and our own interests. Regardless on what a lot of these pastors say, and I believe that we should have heaven. You do good on earth, you lay up your treasures for heaven, and it's going to be waiting for you. But I believe that we should have a good life here on earth too. Amen. The U.S. my fault. I'm taking you out of church right now. Oh, my fault. The U.S. government and society are built on the genocide of the native people and the theft of their land, and the enslavement and colonization of millions of Africans. We can't forget that. We cannot forget that. We cannot let them forget that. Especially with this little agenda that Trump on, he uprooting and pushing everybody out. Ain't no one safe. No one. You even see Africans getting pushed out within the Haitian community, but we know they still Africans. But make a long story short, the Latina brothers and sisters, you know, but you have a lot of folks that got empowered during the first Trump season administration. And they got empowered and they had the audacity to tell a lot of folks to go back home. But our chairman, he got a habit of reminding us, if he was to tell them the same damn thing, where would they go? Where would y'all go? You know, but make a long story short, unfortunately, they made this their home. And a lot of folks is stuck at that. You tell them go back home, they say, we are at home. Oh, you are. I thought this was the indigenous land. I thought this was the native land. That because y'all concentrated them on the concentration camp y'all call Indian reservation, that don't necessarily mean that this not their land. The same folks that y'all putting out, ain't this their land too? The Mexican? Yeah. But they telling folks you can't come up in Arizona, which is their land. You can't come up in Texas, which is their land. You can't come up in Arizona, etc. Like Nevada, huh? That's funny. Well, okay, we're gonna leave that alone. But we cannot allow them to forget, and we shall not forget that the U.S. government and the elitists, the society, it was built on the genocide of the native people and the theft of this land and the enslavement and colonization of millions of Africans. We cannot forget that. We know that every year they don't mind telling you or reminding you about the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews lost their life. But don't you know Africans lost their life within that too? But they don't remind you of that. You know, every time we mention Africans in a Holocaust that happened to the Africans, they tell you why you holding on to the past. Let's move forward. Why are you still trying to divide us? But if you say something, if you tell the folks to move on with the Holocaust, I'm anti-Semitic, huh? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You got these European Jews that's within Israel and throughout the world that said you should not forget our history. We will tear this damn place up if you deny our damn history. They celebrate their history. And God damn it, we got to do the same. Uhuru, our history predates slavery. Uhuru?
Yes.
The Berlin Conference, 1884, 1885, when they carved up Africa because they knew something was special about Africa. But then they whitewashed and gaslight you by saying that Africa is poor. It ain't worth it. Turn your back on it. This don't say you African. Say you black. Say you African American. Disown Africa because they steady want to carve it up and claim it for themselves. So we do got our history that predates 1619, and we say that we gotta, just like the Jews, keep it in folks' face, we gotta keep it in folks' face. And ain't no such thing as y'all telling us to move on. The first Holocaust happened to Black folks. But because of the World War II and the Geneva Convention, this Holocaust genocide word was invented for us to not wipe out a particular group of people. But y'all decided to make international rules when it affected y'all, the European, the white folks. White on white crime. Ain't that what it is? They always want to remind us of a black crime, but they never want to remind you that Europe, Germany, with Italy, with France, when they bowed over, it was Europe crimes against Europe. They don't want to remind you of that. But we believe that African people inside the U.S. live under colonialism. That's our main problem. It's not racism, it's colonialism. And we dealt with this a little bit last week, but I deal with it again. It's not the ideals, and the chairman reminds us of this. It's not the ideals that's in folks' head that we're trying to fight against. It's not. It is the condition that is keeping us in this position that we in. How many of y'all tired of being sick and tired? I know I am. Yeah. I'm tired of fighting and fighting and fighting and seeming like I'm standing still on the damn treadmill. We've been fighting to get the north side to be beautified and tire plan. We're gonna speak about it within the tire plan, but we've been fighting for decades to beautify and overturn the conditions that we facing. And because of this lack of response from the Spencer administration, we back in a fucking mess. And we just can't allow them to say, oops, my bad. Oops, I'm sorry. We can't allow that. Someone have to go to jail. Someone have to get fired. Y'all fired Chichova Jones because of the lack of response. Well, guess what? 7 people died, $1.6 billion damage in our community because of the red line and the lack of response. The lack of economics to come in our community. The South Side robbed us. And Mexicans and Chinese in our neighborhood robbed us and took out the economics for decades. And we're going to talk about the Team 4 Plan 2. But it's a time for us to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Our main problem is colonialism. The exploitation, that's colonialism. But they want to blind you and make you think it's racism, the ideas of somebody head. Don't you know it's a lot of liberals? They might smile and shake your hand and act as if they got a friend or you got a friend in them. But behind closed door session, they signing back deals with lobbyists, etc. I don't give a damn about no Republicans or no damn Democrat, no liberal or no conservative. But one thing about conservative, they gonna tell you how much they hate you. They ain't gonna lie to you. They ain't gonna lie to you. It's not the ideals. Racism is a tool to carry forward colonialism. And if we stuck in this ideal about fading right, who gives a damn about who like you or who don't like you? I think, and I get, yes, ma'am. But I think the chairman, he always reiterate to us that we only care about the white folks liking us because they hold the power. But if we bring and we get black power in our own hands where we be able to feed, clothe, and house ourselves, we won't care who like us or not. Because y'all not in a position to do something about it. Uhuru, our main problem is colonialism, not racism. In order for us to be free, we must overthrow colonialism and gain power over our lives. I think I carried this on too far, so I would go into with the discussions if y'all do not mind. Go in with the questions if y'all do not mind. And how we do this is for folks that are not familiar, we're gonna ask a few questions. For those who know the answer, we just gonna shout it out, right? We're just gonna shout it out. And let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get a prize for y'all. We're gonna figure this out, right? But first question. African people in the US and around the world live under A, feudalism, B, colonialism, C, racism, or D, socialism. What's the answer? I heard it. Uhuru. Can you say it again? B. Can all of us say that? What is it? B. Colonialism. Colonialism. African people in the US and around the world live under colonialism. And we just reminded that's where a foreign government live at the expense, or alien government live at the expense of another. US government, the US government and society was founded on A, genocide and slavery, B, thriftiness, and hard work. C, friendliness and peace. Tell it to the damn Indians, the natives. R, discovery and adventure. The U.S. government and society was founded on what?
A.
A. Oh, genocide
Genocide and
and
slavery.
slavery. Uhuru. African people came to the U.S. and other places somewhere in the world to play on a basketball team. A. B. Looking for a better life. C. Because we was tired of Africa. Or D. Because we was kidnapped and enslaved and colonized. D. Uhuru. Oh yeah, we got a smart crowd out here today. Okay. Now, number 4. No, we got demands. This 14 points, there's a 14 points of demand. So this demand right here is we want a better job, a prosperous life through our own labor, another black president, or a fixed rate mortgage. How many want a fixed rate mortgage? What do we want?
A prosperous life through our own labor.
Uhuru. Yes. I mean, that sounds fair. I mean, we don't want no prosperous life doing our own body labor because we ain't no colonizers, no enslavers, you know what I'm talking about? And we definitely not no charity, so we don't want you to do for us. You know what I mean? We want you to get the hell up out our way and so we can have black power so we can able to feed, clothe, and house ourselves. So that will conclude our 14-point platform. That was concluded. So right on, appreciate it. Now, today rallies come as a result of benign and neglect of the city in its aftermath of the May 16 tornado that was concentrated on the north side of St. Louis. The devastation of the tornado came a month after the newly elected Spencer took office. Her response was terrible. Her response is terrible for the north side, and that's what made us take this stance that she must be fired. I mean, at the least, I reiterate, y'all fired T'Challa Jones because it was a hesitant on trash being picked up. It was slow snow removal, etc., which was understandable. But if y'all uprooted her because of the lack of city response, at the least, if y'all fired her because of the lack of city response, at the least, y'all should fire this woman because of the 7 deaths and $1 billion of insurance, the billions of dollars of damage in our area when majority of the people, 70% of the people don't have insurance. And the folks that do have insurance, 25% of their insurance going to the damn city. You know what I'm talking about? It just don't make sense. But this city represent the city actions, the city policies, it represent the benign and neglect or the let it rot policies from the city government that was promoted in the Team Form Plan of the 1970s. This is nothing more than a colonial mode of production in theory and practice. However, it was the masses of African people in the city who banded together to help each other overturn the contradictions of the government neglect. Prior to the tornado, the city officials discussed what to do with the recovery funds for the COVID. They discussed what to do with the COVID funds, the RAM settlement, the $30 million settlement plus the interest of the Harper Fund, the $200 million that they still got in the bank. I mean, they were just discussing how to spend these funds. You know, I'll tell you how to spend it. Instead of trying to allocate some of that, allocate all of that to the devastated areas. You know, all of it. Because they say that the city is flush. That's what she said. The city don't have the amount of money. This $1.6 billion damages in our community. And the city said we scrap. But like you said, 598 million of Harper funds, 290 million of the RAM settlement, $30 million of the rounds of interest. $30 million. You know that RAM that it been in the bank growing interest. Y'all still ain't put that damn money to work. Some of this money up here is money that was allocated for the COVID. How long COVID? They say COVID been over, and it still haven't been allocated. The city surplus, $42 million. Yeah, they been raping us goods. $42 million. But she said the city don't have no money. The habit that's coming out of this government is shifting blames, shifting blames, shifting blames. Well, we have less a slow response because of FEMA or SEMA or President Donald Trump ain't giving no money, but leave it alone. This is nothing more than a colonial mode of production in practice. But like I said, it was the masses of Africans who banded together to help each other out, to overturn the contradictions of the city throughout this benign and neglect. Today we will deal with this matter a bit more and hope to have input, a more deepened and serious discussions from the audience. Today we will hear from the not only from you, the community, we will also hear from the People's Alderman, Jesse Todd, Alderman Uhuru, the former Alderman of the 18th Ward, the author of the Todd Plan. We also will be hearing from Christopher Gladney, the president of NINA. Our own, come on, let's give him a hand. We got our own Northside Improvement Association, and he gonna go depth in that. You know what I'm talking about? It's us loving on us taking care of us, because no more can we depend on the government to do the right thing, because either they not capable or they just don't want to, and we know it's both. It's both. Yeah, and we will discuss with you, and hopefully y'all have a discussion back with us for us the way to go forward, because we know we all in the same boat together. You know what I'm talking about? This. We're not talking at you, we talking with you, and we want y'all to talk back with us. Some of your concerns, we're gonna write it up on the board. We gonna continue this until we are out of this. You have some of your aldermen that said that it's gonna take 5 years for us to get back to where we were just at. And that's not good enough. But just know, I don't give a damn if it take 5 years, 10 years. We, the Uhuru folks, that's what folks call us, the Uhuru folks. But we will InPDUM. We gonna be here. That door is called Aquava Hall. It means welcome. We ain't no religious institution. It's Muslims that's involved with us. I'm a Christian. It's atheists involved. We know that we not gonna play into something that's gonna divide us.
Right.
The thing that's gonna unite us is we're all in the same bucket, and we trying to overturn the contradiction. We need to be close and dialogue. So once again, we're gonna have a discussion, and we want y'all speak your concerns on the way moving forward. Uhuru?
Yeah.
And also want to know that we've been this is a 50-year organization, 53 plus years organization, you know, created in 72 because our chairman had the outlook to bring Black people back into political life, you know, to continue that fight of the 60s, because they try to kill off the revolutionaries of the 60s and in the 70s. But our leader decided to further our cause, you know, which they call the Black Power, the Black problem. But we've been out here for 5+ decades. The chairman in 2014 saw the people say, and I forget his quote, but something to the effect that killer police, killer police. And we heard that saying, it reminded him of the slogans on the fights of the 60s. So he knew that the Vanguard needed to come up here because you had your Al Sharptons and your Jesse Jacksons up here steering the folks wrong. So we know we have to have a real organization works up here. In 2014 came up here and he been gone. All the Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons and the folks, the news folks that got their sound bites, they gone, been left. Since 2014, you seen this corridor. Once upon a time, this corridor was written off. This supposed to have been a stroll. It was dilapidated, deprived, all the buildings coming down. We was faced to raise our kids up in this mess. But our chairman decided to move the headquarters of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement and African People Socialist Party. He decided to move the headquarters right in the deprived section of the neighborhood. He decided himself to move on the deprived section of the neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about? Now, to overturn the condition that we are faced with. If you look all up and down, starting at Alice, making yourself down to Grand, you see the people work. You see the people dollars. No politician. Please don't get bamboozled. Don't get misconstrued. The politician wrote this area out and they left. We beautified this neighborhood. We got this beautiful hall, which was a dilapidated building, floor. There was no floors, no walls, etc. But you see this beautiful space. It was two dilapidated buildings next door. We brought it down to the ground and put a beautiful space, a community space. Both spaces, y'all space. Y'all space. Don't be a stranger. If y'all want it, y'all can come in anytime. But this space is available for the community. But not only that, right next door to that, we see that big mural, you know what I'm talking about? That's gonna be a radio station, you and I radio station. We already have a come on now. Come on. We need to start controlling our narratives. And look, they took someone billionaire status away because he was telling y'all about who owned the airways. Then someone named Kanye West told y'all it was some Caucasian colored Jews and white folks who owned the airways, and that's why they control the narratives. That's why we believe in Black Power. Yeah. Black Power mean everything, even control our narrative. So we got a Black Power 96 radio station in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we bring our radio station here. So it's gonna be next door. But if you go further on down, we will have a women's center, Uhuru to our women's center, health center, our doula center, right? So we came to take care of the needs of the community. The chairman seen the youth playing what you call it, basketball in the streets with the quakes and you know, the rims, the not basketball rims, bicycle rims. The city government didn't give a damn about kids getting hit on the course trying to run after the ball. Yeah. But when we took it on our own initiative, when the chairman had a foresight to do something about it, the city said no. No, they try to stop us. They try to persuade us against it, saying it will be kids killing kids. So far, we didn't have no death on our watch. So far, it's been the people looking out for that property because they know it's their basketball field. Yes. We got gardens up and down. We got a re-entry programs up and down, but we got a kitchen, y'all kitchen. We know this is a food apartheid. We've been trying to overturn the food desert. Every time, when you look around, every Snooks, every grocery store is getting closed down in your neighborhood. They're not trying to overturn the food desert. No, they're trying to create a hazardous conditions. That's why you're seeing all the CVS's and the Family Dollars and the Walgreens getting closed in our neighborhoods. They don't want us to be able to feed, clothe, and house ourselves. They want us to be dependent so the status quo can continue. Make a long story short, I guess I'm saying this all that to say, and not to stop at our progress because we got other buildings. We got animal headquarters on Natural Bridge. We bought the boat house off Goodfella and Natural Bridge and returned to a gourmet kitchen, Gico kitchen. So not to stop the progress, but just to further the agenda. we've been doing dynamic scenes on the ground for many years. Now, when the storm happened, Friday, we do what we do. Our chairman do what he do. He was out there hitting the streets. We got video of our president Christopher, our UNC representative Fofi, and a few of our comrades was with the chairman, walking among the streets, seeing the concerns of the neighborhoods. You didn't see no mayor out there. Now, when you did see her in a pre-stage background, because she was campaigning, trying to get her, she knows she fucked up, so she gotta start campaigning now, 4 years ahead of time. So she started campaigning, but she wasn't doing no real outreach, getting the concerns of the neighborhood. But this video that's going to come up, it details the this journey that our chairman and the other comrades participated with in the concerns of the neighborhood. So can we play that video?
By this tornado, and you can see some evidence of it, even though the people have come together and they've removed some of the debris and what have you. You can see evidence of the damage here, and walls came down in some instances, and actually buildings came down. And roofs were blown away in many instances, and even at my own home, roof was damaged severely. And if you look here, you can see some evidence of this. And the thing is that in this community, it's hard to tell, make a distinction of what the tornado did and what the government has done, what they call benign neglect, with the economic development program that underdevelops this community, undeveloped. There's roof. You know, all of this came through the tornado. And right now they're quickly trying to clean up some of the evidence so that the distinction between what happens in this community and what happens in the rest of St. Louis is not that obvious. So we're calling on people everywhere to donate to what we are trying to make happen here. We need things. We need flashlights. We need batteries. We need chargers. We need water. We need canned goods. We need resources for all of the kinds of things that people need in emergency situations. So people can get that to us by going to, what should they go to try to get things to us? That's APEDF.org. And APE, that's the African People's Education and Defense Fund. It's launching what's called a flip cause, so people can donate to the disaster fund that we created. All right, sister. Uhuru. All right. All right. That's right. Devour this system.
Get through this. All of us, black, white, stick together. Put the racism aside. Put the hatred aside, and bring us all back together to fight through this and show the world we are a better city than what they think.
Right on, sister. So the blackpowerblueprint.org, blackpowerblueprint.org, Northside Disaster Fund. One word, blackpowerblueprint.org, Northside Disaster Fund.org. We need all the resources people can get to us because we're doing political work here, and the political work is connected to the economic conditions of the community that we're trying to transform. We're trying to make a major transformation here, and so don't hesitate to show whatever kind of support and solidarity you can to this. This is where.
Uhuru. Israel too. Africa. Israel too. Okay. Now let's just give you a little snippet of That I think they was out there about an hour, a little bit over. They give you a little snippet. You just didn't want to bore you by playing the whole what's called right now. But right after that, you know, the chairman went out to the community to get the hear the needs and the concerns of the community. But then he did an amazing thing. That fast, he put us to work. You know what I'm talking about? And we've been busy since, you know, trying to overturn the contradiction of this administration. Because that following Sunday, we had Uhuru Pies out there serving the community in conjunction with Nina. Then you had InPDUM out there leading the giveaways. Yeah, folks coming in. Sunday was just a busy, dynamic day. It was just beautiful to see St. Louis loving on each other while we in this times that we are in. But then Monday, and since then we've been doing drops here, where donations here, donations in the garden, drops in the devastated communities. So it we out there. Don't let nobody tell you we ain't out there in the street. Not only we out there getting the concerns of the neighborhoods, we doing stuff. We do stuff about it. Uhuru, this next video, speaking of doing stuff about it, we just don't speak about our problems. You know, this our kitchen table. That's why I say that Mike right there. When you at your kitchen table, ain't that's the intervention? When you telling your cousin that they drinking too much, or you telling your uncle he eat too much. I mean, we speak about the family problems at the kitchen table. This our kitchen table. They go, yeah, Mike, let's speak our problems. But we just don't it's an old saying called speak to the choir. We just don't speak to the choir. We take our concerns and demands out to the politicians, the ones y'all put in the office, because they tend to think they have the power downtown, but they forgot who voted them in. It's the people who have the power. So it's not just okay, or it's just not good enough for us to speak our concerns among each other. We had to light that fire and speak to them. Speaking of a light of fire, sometimes I am fired up. Sometimes I get fired up too much. Sometimes I got to get reminded, watch my language. So forgive me. You know what I'm talking about. So going forward, I will try to watch my tongue. But that being said, we get all up in the politician's face. We ain't scared. We not scared. Who grew up on the north side that's scared? Well, forget that. Who grew up in St. Louis that's scared? Huh? Y'all know what I'm saying. This is the show me state. You gonna do what? You gonna have to show me. We ain't scared. It must be something in that water. But that being said, yeah, so we went down to City Hall and we spoke our concerns. One of the concerns was bring power back to the north side. Uhuru? Yeah. But we want to extend it, not just power, black power, economic power. Yes. That reside in our hands. So we want to beg nobody for no welfare or beg the Trump administration to please don't cut federal funds from your startup, the hospitals and your head starts and etc. We don't gotta beg them to save these charity programs because we got the power to feed, house, and clothe our own self within our own hands. So we say bring back power, but not only power, black power back to the north side, back to the African community. But some of our demands, we went down to City Hall and we let them know. Mind you. When our chairman say do stuff, we love to do it, right? And it's just amazing that he have a intuition to say, come on, let's do it. We have to act. The time is now. Because it seems like when he says that and we do it, things get done. Because that morning he called us for emergency meeting at 8 o'clock, 8:30 that morning. He said, we have to do this. We have to raise hell. They have to hear the concerns of the people. Yeah. And we did that. He charged us and we did that. And when we did go downtown to raise hell, they try to send an aide out. They try to send Dan out. We laughed at that. Look, we ain't trying to hear that. Man, go on, so worry about your business. And we finished speaking on our bullhorn and picketing, demonstrating, if you will. And got to the point where, in the midst of demonstrating, you see this little black SUV pull up like they gangsters. I damn near want to make the iron noise. But they didn't do that. But that's how they pulled up. 3 folks jumped out. You had your Corey Spencer and 2 aides. They looked like aides. That might have been our bodyguards. Compare how if you can tell how one of the people was looking at me, they could have been our bodyguards. But make a long story short, they pulled up and you can see the response of them pulling up. But this is the people power. So first of all, I want to salute my leadership in their absence. I want to salute Chairman Mali Yeshatella, which is the chairman of the African People's Socialist Party, leader of the Uhuru movement. Also want to salute DC owner Yeshatella, and I also want to salute the international president of InPDUM, which is Dr. Odom. But make a long story short, I want to salute and thank my chairman for having the intuition to go at that moment and we listen. And I also want to show y'all, this is the voice, this is the power of organization. This is the power of the people. You and I, by ourselves, won't get the damn, sorry, you need to put a little change drop. I heard every time I say something, I need to put $1. And I don't like giving money. So that might help me. But you or I by ourselves won't get the aldermen to counsel a very important meeting to redirect themselves to you, to give you answers. You and I, we don't command that type of power, but it's organizational work. That's why, once again, I salute our chairman for 1991 having an intuition to start InPDUM, to bring back Black folks to revolutionary life, political life. Uhuru. So this video is demonstrate the power of the people, the power of your voice, the power of organizational work. Uhuru.
Are you going to turn on the power for the residents to
Can
get
you
our
please let me talk?
If you're going to give us talking
Sir,
bites, I don't want to hear it.
I'm not talking about talking bites.
Okay.
The moment I heard you guys were asking questions, I left the meeting, redirected over here to directly communicate with you about it. It's important. And I want you to know that I talked to some impacted residents this morning. It was a coincidence. I know it's a big issue. We have taken the steps to ask Ameren to disconnect those houses that are on the red list. We know this is heartbreaking and adding trauma to an already traumatic scenario here.
We need the lights back on. I have a copy of the permit here. It says roof is on the house, and then after the roof is on the house, that's when you turned off the electric. Government turned off the electric after a roof was on this person's house.
We're here because we care about this issue, and we are.
When is it going to be on?
I don't know.
People who did stabilize their building, like people who did get a red tag, so they stabilized their building all because they put a roof on.
Yes.
When are the inspectors getting sit back out?
You're right. You're right. So this is exactly what we've asked the building division to prioritize today, and we will have a process in the coming hours to make sure that people who are doing that structural work or need the reassessment have the path. It wasn't established.
They were doing the structural work when the
I understand, and that's why
we're put it on the house. So why did they put it on the house?
I don't know that specific answer, but my point is that we are working to rectify it immediately.
I know, but the thing is that
look, we are not perfect.
I want to say this. I live in Mount Pleasant, and this thing didn't happen here.
Correct.
I mean, and I saw damaged houses.
Yes.
But this kind of contradiction is only in the most impoverished
That's not
neighborhood. Okay. In this way, in the same way.
Uhuru. Stop. Uhuru. And that's what we have to do. So I want to say it one more time. Fist up. Uhuru. We can't let them take our neighborhoods back. We can't let them gentrify our neighborhood. We know after the Hurricane Katrina, what happened to the French Quarters and some other affected areas of New Orleans. It was gentrified. It was gentrified. And this Friday, we want to have another demonstration. We want to have another demonstration. We want us to keep the fire in we want to keep the fire lit, right? Behind, that's the word I'm looking for. We want to keep it lit. We don't want them to think they feel they got friends and they got folks to wipe the tears off. Y'all see that fake tears she had? She was crying. She was crying during a press conference. You know, but we didn't need your tears. We need your leadership. I know it's folks that's crying because they roof is missing or because their back of the houses is missing. And you don't give a care about their tears because you still pushing them out. You still pulling their power, condemning their homes. So we want to keep the power lit in the city behind. We not done. This week we got donations and drops coming up this Friday. Like I said, we have a demonstration coming up. We're gonna tell y'all more about demonstration. The demonstration come up at City Hall, where and how y'all can participate. That's cool. Can I tell you about that in a little bit?
Yeah.
But for right now, right this second, we gonna have a discussion and about the Team 4 plan with the benign neglect history. We also gonna be talking about the tire plan. You know what I'm talking about? So at this very moment, if I can introduce the people alderman, the 18 ward alderman, the no nonsense having Alderman Jesse Todd. Uhuru?
Uhuru, comrades. I was last week I passed out the tire plan, so I would just I would summarize it. The tire plan started off in the 70s, early 70s, to combat what was called the Team 4 plan, which the Team 4 plan was to neglect North St. Louis and let it die at the vine and to suffer through neglect, which is still doing. That's why that's where I got the team started off with the Team 4 plan, was because I had actually participated in developing houses that were run down, and we brought them back to where they were stable, the same as our center here. When I say I'm a lifetime member of InPDUM, and I joined while I was the alderman. I don't know how I'm the first alderman that I know in St. Louis that's ever joined the Black Power group. Let me be. I know in St. Louis. I don't know about all over any place there, but the point is, I joined because of the great work that I became a lifetime member, because of the great work and the great potential that I saw in InPDUM. What needs to be done is to restore North St. Louis, not back to before the tornado, because it looked like a tornado before the tornado. We need to restore this back to where it was when I was a child when I was a child. There was not an abandoned eyesore vacant building in North St. Louis. I can tell you, because when I was a child, my friends and I, we rode through all these alleys. In fact, we rode through the alleys, what we call we used to call North Natural Bridge. It was probably all white. We thought it was all white. We just, you don't go. So we rode through the alley. But what is the point? The point is that there weren't any abandoned eyesore building, and also even north of up to Delmar, there weren't any neither. So this area, in fact, I can tell you, when I was a teenager, that's when I was on my own. When I got on my own, because my mother passed when I was young, and I was on my own when I was 15. In fact, I couldn't find a building. It was so cold when I first got out there, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have no, I couldn't find a building any place. I asked the police station, could I sleep in there? They said no. Well, no, I couldn't even sleep in to stay warm and go. But if I had done something, I would have certainly been locked up. So the point is, so these so the point is that these buildings need to be fixed up. Then what they need to do, they need to be turned over, need to be repaired for the people who had the storm. But after the rest of these buildings after those buildings are repaired, we need to have a building, meaning a store or a house on every vacant lot. That's not just one lot. There shouldn't be a vacant lot. No buildings need to be turned over to the disabled. First, the unhoused people. That shouldn't be. It is a crime in the richest country in the world. We got unhoused people. Then those unhoused, and then we need to turn them over to the disabled people. The elderly should be living in those houses. Then low-income people. So everybody, because when I was alderman, a lady in Fountain Park froze to death living in a tent. This is the kind of thing. And so they're talking about turning off, red tagging a house. And this is a fact that this lady froze to death in a tent. And I had this plan, and I had been working on it. And so when we talk about the TIE plan, I presented this to the neighborhood groups before I became alderman, and they passed it. Then to the Democratic City Central Committee, which I was I sat on for more than 20 years. That's an elected position, and I was the treasurer for more than 10 years. They passed it. They know about it. Then the Board of Aldermen passed the TIE plan, and Carol Spencer knows about the TIE plan, and also because I was on the board when she was on the board. And also the Black Caucus knows about the plan because I was the treasurer for the automatic Black Caucus of the Black Aldermen. So, and and we had a group called the Black Elected Officials for many years, which included all the citywide blacks, all the people, all the Democratic cities. They know about it. So it's not like, and the comptroller, Darlene Green knew, Lewis Reed, all the people know about it because I went to all of them, every alderman, everybody know about it. So it's not like Kara is surprised that she doesn't know what to do. It's not like the Black aldermen in the past didn't have a chance to do it. It's not like it, they just did not do it, period. And the only way they're going to do it is that the citizens, that we force them to do it, because they're not going to do anything unless they're forced to do it. It has to be, they either have to feel they'll be voted out of office. If they don't do it, they will be voted out. They would be primary, meaning if you don't, you're not guaranteed to win any election. And I never ran, and I won 7 in a row. But I always ran all of them like I was going to lose because you don't know you're going to win till the voters count. Believe me, I'm not going to be arrogant and say I know. But the point is that even if somebody run against you and don't win the first time, if they make you expose you, do nothing, and make you work, that make a lot of them get up and work. And okay, and also the TIE plan is to summarize, and I was it'll make our community safer, make it more beautiful. Right. It would make us have a healthier community because and then it would put an end to mass incarceration. Yes. It would stop the propaganda that we, the Black people in North St. Louis, we want our community to look like this. We don't want it to look like this. I've knocked on doors, talked to everybody in the 18th Ward, represented the ward for more than 25 years. It's the city that makes, it's the city that makes this community look like it does. Yeah. It's the city, it's not the residents. They withdraw services. And also, the other thing that it would do to give the taxpayers, save the taxpayers money. It will end gentrification in North St. Louis. and it would overturn the culture of violence. Where did I get the tire plan from? Also was that we have what's called a Hawkins-Humphrey full employment bill. So these what I'm talking about, jobs, the tire plan called for jobs for all who want a job and a guaranteed annual income for people who want an income, who cannot work if they're disabled, mentally or physically disabled, and the full employment came from Hubert Humphrey, who was a Democrat, and Augusta Hawkins, who was an African American African in the when Johnson was president. So it's not like something new. But in the Martin Luther King asked for a guaranteed annual income when he was running the Poor People's Campaign right before he got shot. So that's why. So that's part of the tire planner's job. And Huey P. Long, Huey P. Newton of the Black Panther Party was named after. He was the governor of Huey Newton was born in Louisiana. He came to Oakland when he was when he was 2 or 3 years old. But his father named him after Huey P. Long because Huey P. Long was saying redistribute the wealth. So this has been years and years going on. And but the tire plan would also help beat the machine, and we would build our own machine. We would have people from that are sitting out here who would truly. That's why I joined too. Is who would be truly willing to represent the people. We need good representation as well as economics, because you can't have economics without politics, because they will make rules and take your economics away from you. So you got to have both. And the reason I joined InPDUM was because of its independence, and both the black and whites who are working for independence for African people. Because in every movement historically, it has been Africans that have led the most progressive movements throughout the history from enslavement up until now, because it was the running away and the Harriet Tubman that finally ended up with us getting a free public education and many other reforms that we got through that. And also we would be able to end food deserts if we had full employment, because African people would have some money. And the only reason most people steal, I'm not talking about the rich, poor people, the only reason most of them take anything is because of the fact that they don't have money, or they have drug issues or something like that. So so we would end that food desert. We would reduce the number of African people who end up in foster care, because the father and mother would be at home, and the government can't come in and tell me if you want this welfare, the man got to leave the house. That's the kind of stuff that they pull on us. So I'm a summary. I have copies of the tire plan, but I'm gonna go through it with vacant houses, with the housing issue real quick, and then I pass some of these out. I'm gonna give people a copy if you would like one. Those who want one, I gave last week. If you lost it or misplaced it, I'd give you another copy. So, but if you, but okay. So to summarize the tire plan, it deals with drug treatment. We got people who need to be treated for drugs. These vacant houses, though, I was driving through and know that the city doesn't follow its own rules. They only vote up the vacant houses on the first floor. Can you imagine that? And then they let the houses sit. Yeah. And then they let them deteriorate on purpose, because if you just board them up on the first floor, eventually those houses going to fall. And then the same thing, money that has been used to tear down houses, I told them we need to use that money to fix those same houses up. It wouldn't cost any more. In fact, the city would save money, and you would put those houses back on the tax roll, and it would save our schools with those houses. We wouldn't have all these schools closed. And the reason schools closed is because of the fact that there are not enough children to go to those schools. And then code enforcement would be the same for city houses as the city property as it is for LRA property. the city is in charge of those LRA properties and they get them before LRA gets them. And the city does not follow its own law. They leave those houses I know you look at them, so they need to file. And I told them, and so I'm not saying this to you and speaking to you because I said it when I was in the rep for the last 25 years that I've been an elected official. I said it to the people who could do something about it. They just wouldn't, black and white. So it wasn't like, hey, the white people won't do anything. Let me say this: if we could get the blacks to do it, we had enough white people that we could. They would go along with us. And they would do it too. So we had the power, but we don't have people on the board, black people. Let me say, not just people, black people on the board that represent us that will fight in our interests. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. That's what we do. We've always won. When we fought during enslavement, we won. When we fought during the civil rights movement, I was in the Black Power movement, the civil rights movement, we won. So that was the second Civil War, and we won. And we made some gains. And that's not where chairman got him, but I was in both movements. So the point is, the city doesn't enforce the code, its own law. It doesn't enforce them about these. When you have grass is supposed to be 6 inches, you see weeds and stuff over your head. And in the water again, that I represented, we found dead bodies in the weeds. I'm telling you how I know is because people call me, and so I know, and I was fighting them about it, but I couldn't get in the Black Caucus. I couldn't get the black aldermen to do what they were supposed to do, and so so the city doesn't fight. We need to make the city. And the other thing about red, and they need to take those red tags off the house, as I said, because of the fact that those red tags. Why aren't they tagging the red tags on the property that the city owns? The city, they don't turn off the electricity on those houses. I had people I had a person on my block. And they didn't turn off the city. They didn't turn off the house. The house was there, and they shouldn't have, because as long as that person, it's safer for the person to live in a. What does electricity have to do with a house that a roof damage? What does it have to do? It has absolutely nothing. They doing that to try to drive black people out of their houses. That's the only reason. They're not even concerned about houses and for black people, because if they were, they would have adopted the plan more than 40 years ago when I first brought it up. It's not new to black people or white all the people. So I don't want anybody to be talking about the white folks did it. No, all of them did it. Doing nothing. No, look at all of them. They all can do it. And so I don't anybody and no excuses. Because it can be done. I've seen it done. If you go to 223 Enright, we took that building and fixed it up that was more than 40 years ago. You go to 43, 4108, 4110 Enright, you'll see some more we fixed up more than 40 years ago. You go to 4112 Enright. Those are buildings that have been fixed up, and they were just like this center when we opened this, when we fixed it. We just can look at this center and see what you can do. So these buildings can look at this beautiful building. So, but they tell them we need more police for containment. So they take half of the budget and tell them we're gonna be safe. But when they put people out, you can't call the police. You're not supposed to call them until you think a crime is happening to you or someone else. And that's the rule. But the point is, our community, we wouldn't have crime. We need to prevent it in the first place. So the point is, the tax credits and grants should be given to families, not big developers, to fix up these vacant houses. We had an alderman, I don't need to call his name because he's no longer alderman, he went to jail. But He went down there, told me to my face, laughed in my face. We on the board together. Tell me, Todd, I took your plan, part of your plan. You know, he was trying to provoke me because they get mad at me because I try to help people. It's because I represent black folks. I had some white people that I was representing too, because part of what I represent was 25% white. And I would say probably over 25% since they vote, the voters who vote in the primary. But anyway, the point, I don't know if it was 50-50, but anyway, the point is that he laughed and told me because he thought he was going to provoke me because he was taking my plan. And he told people to that what they should do is come out and he'll give them a house for $1, but it costs about $50,000 to fix up a building. If you're going to, and the reason I know, because I live in a fixer upper. And I've been living there for more than 40, 50 years, and I still don't have that house fixed. I'm telling you, one of those houses, and that's why so I'm telling you, it takes money and it takes time to fix those houses up. And so that's why I say you need a grant. That's why I said if it costs about $20,000, $30,000 to tear that house down, why not give people the $30,000 and a grant, and then they can fix it up, and then they'll be here. Why tear it down? That's what I was, but it's logical. They know it, but they just don't care, and they don't want to, they just are short-sighted. I'm not saying they're mean. I'm not saying anything bad about it. They're short-sighted. They just don't need to be representing anybody. Probably nice people. I know them all, but they don't need to, some of them don't need to be represent anybody. They need to go get another job. Yeah. You know, that's all. Okay, so the whole thing is that, okay, in summary, and then the other thing about parks, we have 100 parks in the city. We don't have organized, they don't have supplies. The city doesn't provide supplies in most cases, maybe in spotted equipment or supervision on a daily basis. In fact, what we should have every day, those parks should be open. And also during the winter, those public schools should be open because we own those schools, and the kids should be there until 6 o'clock in the evening so that those kids could be under supervision, involved in physical activity, because a lot of times in the African community, we have health problems because we are confined. Yes. We are contained. Yes. And when you're not active, when you are contained, that creates obesity, which leads to a lot of times high blood pressure, diabetes, and many other diseases. Through no fault of our own, again, that create genocide. With us dealing with health, housing, and that would more than pay for itself. Yes. And so it would be, in fact, the taxpayer would save money. You think that all the people and the other Black elected officials and white elected officials, because St. Louis is a Democratic city. You cannot win an election hardly unless you run on a Democratic ticket. And so it's a shame. And that's why we have, and I'm gonna stop, that's why we have to work to make sure that since the Democrat is not, they just don't seem like they want, since they've shown us what they're gonna do, let me be honest. And so we need to continue to work on building our independent economic base as well as an independent political base. And we need an alternative to the Democratic and the Republican Party. Because I'm not, believe me, and no doubt people feel that the Democrat Party, and I'm not tooting the horn of the Democrat, but they do provide some food, like food stamps. But listen, some shelter, not enough shelter. I know if you're homeless, you need some shelter. And they do provide some medical care, but we need food for everybody. Yes. We need shelter for everybody. We need clothing, decent clothing for everybody. We need housing for everybody. We need Medicare, not Medicaid, Medicare for every human being, guaranteed annual income. So that's what we need, and I'm gonna pass these out, and I appreciate you your time. Thank you very much, and Uhuru, Uhuru.
Miss Sir, Uhuru, the people order me. Jesse Todd. Uhuru. And he was speaking about some of the same things that he's been fighting for over the last 40 years. Whoever don't have a issue of the Jesse Todd plan, can you raise your hand so she can pass them out? I think I passed a few of them out. Yeah. Okay. But he was just discussing about, like I said, some of the same fights that we fighting for this today, over 40 years ago. But I want to discuss some of the things that's been happening these last 40 years. Some of the things 50 plus years. Thing is, which one I want to start first? I guess I'll start with JBL first. How many of us are familiar with JBL? Come on, by way of hands. Okay, it's a few of us. Jeff Van Loo. We also know that once upon a time that was designated as the Negro or a Negro district. We was redlined and we wasn't able to move out of there. A few other spots that used to be labeled Negro districts doesn't exist no more, like your Mills Creek Valley, where your Soccer Stadium sits at now. Your Kenlock, which is the first incorporated black town in Missouri, the first incorporated black town in Missouri. Unfortunately, they not around, but some of us familiar with Jeff Van Loo, that Negro district. And we know that because of the land grab, because of the NGA, they trying to change the outlook over there. They trying to justify their area, and they started with the 1,000/2,000 acre land grab from the African community to put that spot facility NGA up there on the ground. We say no to the NGA, but speaking about JBL briefly, we know that we had a brief fight with Paul McKee because of that fake clinic that he called Homer G. Phillip without getting our permission, right? So I think that thank God that the people raised hell, and they didn't stop raising hell until they closed that facility. Like we need to do coming up Friday. We need to keep raising hell with this office until we get change. One of the changes, she must get fired. But make a long story short, be familiar with the land grabs on off Jefferson Cass, but that same facility that fake Homer G. Phillip clinic, the one that's not open up now. Don't you know how many of us familiar with Periagos? Okay, we got some vets in here. Okay, but Periagos is one of the projects we have. That was the first project in St. Louis City built up, first one knocked down. They rebuilt the Cochranes, Peabody's, O'Fallons, but they never rebuilt the Periagos. And one of the reasons why the Periagos was never rebuilt, because it was contaminated soil. See, it's been many decades, not just now, because what you see with the tornado storm. There's been many decades where they say hell with the African community. Now, like I said, I want to start in the 40s with the open air study. And this open air study, over 10,000 residents. At that time, there was 70% of St. Louis African citizens. But 10,000 residents was either subjugated to open air study or petroleum injections. A lot of this was spearheaded through, I know some of us might be familiar with the Manhattan Project, but at the time, a scientist from out of Washington University was spearheading this. So anyway, make a long story short, they had a Army Corps come out here, and they was testing to see the radiation or petroleum injection effects on the people. So they did radiation open air studies to do this radiation test. But it happened majority in the segregated north side of St. Louis. And this was during the Cold War. This was during Cold War. A lot of us understand that the American government, when they was trying to get this atomic bomb, this nuclear bomb, they used to test it out. Some was tested out on soldiers, some was tested out on folks in the islands, with the sporadic islands. Atolls. Yeah. Some was it's certain islands to see the effects of this new bomb, but a lot of it was tested out on you and I. We was the human guinea pig. You know what I'm talking about? This stuff been going on for decades. But don't let, just like I said earlier, these Caucasian colored Jews won't let you forget the Holocaust, but they telling you that you and I must forget our history. You know, you even got this administration out here trying to do away with DEI. They don't want they call it woke. We don't want no woke nothing in our schools. But it's always our history that's get attacked. Because they know how dirty they did us, and they don't want the truth to be uncovered. Or they want us to be complacent within the status quo. They don't want you to say this tornado is not the start of our issues, but goddamn it, it's will be the end of our issues. Because this stuff been going on long enough. Yeah. Amen? I'm sorry, Uhuru? But like I said, 1945, look it up. The petroleum files. The open air study. I was familiarized with it because my family on both sides grew up in the Paragos. My mother's side, for some odd reason, they kept that on the hush. You know, my father's side, they spoke about it, but my father spoke about it in some of his conditions, this, that, and other. You know, I thought he would just do what a lot of us do, exaggerate. You know, that's what naive people do. Naive people, which I was at the time, I was like, no, you got to be exaggerating. Our local government surely won't do that. Gas us? No. I think you was a child in the movie persuaded your memory. But no, this ain't no movie scene. This is straight out of City Hall playbook, the military playbook. But they want you and I to forget about these things that happen right down the street. Piragos, Jefferson Cass, that ground's contaminated. But it was insult to injury when they had this cat named Paul McKee. The reason why majority of the North Side looked dilapidated because that scum lord is bringing your and I property value down just so he can buy up your and our property. You know what I'm talking about? Half of these houses is next door dilapidated, belong to Paul McKee. The other half belong to the city. But they doing that because they want the developers to price you and I up out of the neighborhood. They got two ways to do it. The one way they're doing benign neglect, 30,000 African residents being pushed out St. Louis within the last 10 years. That's one way to do it. Not take care of the crime so folks be scared and move out to a North County or etc. You know, another way to do it is to ragtag, force out, or what they try to do is true value, try to raise the value on your house. You know what I'm talking about? Push the folks that's on fixed income out of the house. Yeah. They got many different tools within a book. But the injury to us, insult with this scum lord named Paul McKee, that reason why the North Side looked like it looked from the JBL to the Dub area, we call it, you know. But they let him do a few things to clean up his dirty image. You know, I used to cut Paul McKee lots on tractors, me and the grass crew. Make a long story short, they're building on. It's a gas station. It's an Amoco now. It was a Greenleaf gas station, I believe they called it, right there off Tucker in 13th area, you know. Then it's a grocery store, a green grocery store right across the street. They was empty lots. Though they was my two lots that I had. I had multiple lots over there, but those was my two lots I had. And we had a meeting that Paul McKee was trying to clean up his image. So he decided to get rid of the food desert, put that grocery store there, You put that what's called those Palmer Key projects. But you see that grocery store, it didn't last. That gas station, it only survives because management changed. But the third project he did to try to clean up his image, that's what I'm telling you guys, don't fall for it, was to put up Homer G. Phillip on that contaminated lot. They took a lot of black folks' houses by eminent domain, you know, and gave them what they want. Paul McKee has some of those lots that they took for eminent domain to put on the NGA, to put the NGA up. Paul McKee has some of their lots. They gave Paul McKee top dollar for his lots, dilapidated lots. And then they gave him the grounds, periodical ground. That's how he ended up with it. They trade and gave him money, but he got periodical grounds. But the insult to injury is y'all gassed these people on this ground, two down the last building, I think it was 75, 76. Decide not to allow no other type of structure to be built up on this ground for many years. But why did the city allow him to put a clinic on that contaminated ground? To clean up his image? Well, I'm glad the people fought for him and closed that down. But the JVL, don't forget about the JVL. I know we just looking at the NGA land grab, and we upset that they forced African community out. They put $1 billion, over $1.3 billion in the community. Over that, just to put this NGA facility there. But how many of us know that money was deprived from the area many, many decades? They had us in that dilapidated area. But as soon as y'all put money in the area, y'all want to uproot us? No. But like I said, folks remember the NGA tragedy of folks' family getting uprooted, but they don't know about right across the street with the open air study, the petroleum files injection. We might be familiar with what's that? Coldwater Creek. We might be familiar with the Bristol nuclear fire. All that is connected with each other. Some of the same waste material that was left over from the Manhattan Project was shipped in St. Louis. A lot of that was administered in the gas in the open air study, but the rest of that was buried in the grounds out in Bristol and St. Anne's area, was buried in the ground. Like residence area. That's nuclear waste. This is how much I care for the people by buried in the ground. Guess what? Next to a waste dump. So how many of y'all know that right now, as we speak, it's an underground fire? And the underground fire is right next to that dump site. This is the condition that we are faced with. This is nothing new. This is policies up at a city hall. When are you going to be fired up? When are you going to say enough is enough? When are we going to stand up? Now, and we're going to bring up the president of NINA, our association, homeowner association, to tell you how we can stand up and come against this status quo. Uhuru? Israel!
Africa!
Africa!
All right, Uhuru, everybody. Again, I'm Christopher Gladney. I'm the president of the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association. I want to read purpose of NINA. I want people to really understand what it's about. First purpose is to improve the current quality of life in North St. Louis, fostering a sense of community and advocating for the neighborhood's interests to become self-determining, self-reliant, and self-sustaining. The second purpose of the association shall be to promote and protect the welfare, health, and safety of the members of the neighborhood through collective action, communication, and collaboration. The third is to represent the College Hill and other neighborhoods in St. Louis, and to collaborate with other neighborhood associations, rebuilding a strong and thriving business community that brings commerce and a sense of real neighborhood collaboration. so that people don't need to leave the neighborhood to have our needs met, to keep the people's hard-earned money in our own neighborhood to benefit the whole community, not leave the neighborhood to benefit corporate interests. Without commerce, we don't have a neighborhood. To be the voice of the community to help alleviate red tape and laws that have hindered the community's ability to grow and develop. In order for this community to develop, a critical change needs to occur in the red tape laws that impose punitive fines and restrictions on our residents and businesses. When the community is organized, we have the power in the city.
Yes.
To build our capacity to empower the North Side community by representing the interests of the community, city agencies, and the city government. To contend with the status quo that keeps our neighborhoods impoverished, hungry, unemployed, derelict, with no growth to serve our people. And the last is to improve the community's access to services like schools, hospital, and food. I want people to really understand that, because all that has been fallen by the wayside through the city government. And let's be clear on that. First, I just want to really appreciate the leadership of the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement here in St. Louis, really taking on and addressing the critical issues that face the Black community on a daily basis, and, as president of NINA, I really want to support, the work of InPDUM, and also I want to support the upcoming demonstration that's going to be taking place. As the local president has said, we got to keep up the pressure. We can't just sit idly by and hope that the city does something right for a change. Those days are over. It's time for us as the people to take charge. I want to read something real quick, because this is from the St. Louis American talking about the Team 4 program. And the 1974 Team 4 program plan divided the city into 3 areas: conservation, redevelopment, and depletion. The first 2 concepts speak for themselves. The North Side was designated as a depletion area, where destabilization efforts included lack of private and public investment and reduction of services. This has been, let me just ask people this. Do you know what premeditation means? That is a plan. That was a premeditated act led by the Rand Corporation that the city embraced. They had to pick, well, what part of the city we're going to use to deplete? Oh, the North Side. That's why even before the tornado hit, it looked like a tornado hit. Right. So many, beautiful buildings. I can just imagine in the heyday, back in the 30s and 40s, how beautiful these buildings and thriving communities and businesses and things like that. There was life, economics life. There was social activities, everything that you needed in the community was there. You didn't have to leave the community to go shopping or anything like that. And if you look at the West Florissant Corridor, what businesses are there? Hardly any, and that's why NINA was built, because we're not just some run-of-the-mill neighborhood association. We want a neighborhood association that says, look, College Hill can't benefit at the expense of St. Louis Place or Hyde Park or Penrose or any other neighborhood. Let's all collaborate together and say, hey, this is what it is that we need. Whether the city endorses it or not, we're going to build it. Absolutely. We have to build it. Again, they handled the situation of the tornado and in such a bad way. And I'm going to say it like this. We can't classify it as negligence.
Right.
We cannot classify it as negligence. Right. They purposefully made sure that nobody heard a warning.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why. I said it before, but I'll tell you again. I was doing business, handling business for Uhuru Foods and Pies. I was at our other location on Goodfellow and Natural Bridge. And I heard them like every 10, 15 minutes, they were testing the sirens Then, this was a few hours before the tornado hit on May 16th. So the sirens were working. What happened from that time until the tornado hit?
Yes.
That's because people were out of the office. Nobody was manning the store. Now, if that's not a premeditated act, I don't know what is. Okay? How do you not have somebody? Let me go back. How do you know that the storm is hitting? How do you know that there's going to be a tornado coming, but you have a training and nobody's there to be at the office, the SEMA office, to push the button?
Right.
And then looking at stories after that, what's her name? Sarah Russell saying to the fire department, oh, well, can you push the button? And then only to say, well, if we did push the button, it wouldn't have worked anyway. You know, there is no negligence in this. This is all premeditated. Again, to remove Black folks out of the North Side, because again, this supports the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
Yes. Yes.
This is a U.S. government institution, installation, I should say. This is to gather intelligence and to commit drone strikes any place around the world that can kill people.
Right.
That is what that place represents. And that is what these white and Black politicians are supporting. We need to be clear on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll think, well, they're trying, and no. They're really trying to get rid of more Black folks out of the North Side.
Right.
But again, Nina says, no, those days are over.
Yes.
Those days are over. So, and I want to say one final thing. And I want to, uphold the sentiment. Somebody needs to go to jail.
Yes.
Kara Spencer and Sarah Russell need to go to jail for aggravated homicide.
Yes.
I'm not going to say negligent homicide, aggravated homicide. They need to be put under the jail.
Yes.
They committed the deaths of 7 Black folks. You see them on the wall. 7 deaths, if not more. We only know of these 7. There's probably more that are dead. There's so many more that are injured. They give you those, what they call conservative estimates. No, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And just because Kara Spencer's only been in office for a short time, there's a such thing as taking stuff back.
Yeah.
You go to the store, you buy something, you realize it's not working for you, so you take it back. Well, the voters need to take back their vote from Kara Spencer, because she's proven to be just like all the other politicians. They say all these wonderful things, and then when they get in the office, the Black community suffers.
Yes.
As a consequence. So if there's any demand that Nina would make, it would definitely be to jail Kara Spencer and Sarah Russell for aggravated homicide. But we also want to support the fact that we want to implement the TIDE program. Turn back on the power. They had no business. It was days before the city even acted after the May 16th tornado. And the first act that they commit is to bring code enforcement through the communities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Code enforcement. They weren't bringing any help. They were bringing code enforcement.
Still out there.
And we've been talking about a land grab. Those red tags on those buildings are exactly that, to try to take people's homes away from them. Again, housing for the workers of the NGA. So they can come in and buy up whole swaths of properties. Guess what happens? Right now, the property values are low. Soon as the developers come in and start redeveloping, property values go sky high. What happens to the Black population here in the North Side? Can't stay here.
Yeah.
Rents are too much. Can't buy a house. Again, Nina is not for the okie doke from the city anymore. It's time for us to take the power. Uhuru.
Mister? Uhuru. This is a fight back, and I remind y'all, the fight is not over. Uhuru, Corbin Spencer, you cannot send the Red Cross out to give us a meal for a day. You cannot send the National Guards out. You cannot put in place a mandatory curfew. You cannot color code our properties for looting. You cannot allow the electric companies to keep pulling our power. The buck stopped with you, Spencer, and someone has to go to jail. Someone has to be fired. And furthermore, start campaigning with your shadow attempts to solve the problem. Can you stop? Uhuru. In a second, we will discuss a little bit about this upcoming. First of all, I want to salute Zaki Baruti, Uhuru. So I want to, and his guests, I want to salute y'all. Appreciate it. But like I said, in a minute, we're gonna discuss how y'all could get involved with the demonstration we having Friday. But right now, I want to bring Emmanuel out to speak about a outreach report. Because like I said, we go out, we do door to door, we touch the community, we hear the concerns of our people, more than this government doing, not just to be a happy ear, because we know a lot of folks need to get things off their chest, but we also get the concerns of the people so we can do something about it. Uhuru. So let's give a hand. A round of applause for Uhuru.
Uhuru. Fist up.
Fight.
Fist up.
Fight.
Uhuru. Like that. My name is Emmanuel. I help coordinate outreach for InPDUM. And I want to appreciate you all for being here. Outreach is an important component to organizing a community response to the treacherous city actions that is targeting this community and the north side of St. Louis for forcible removal and land grab. This week in the People's Fight Back, the people have self-deployed on the ground community outreach. We went to 1,000 homes. We have distributed 850 flyers, all located in O'Fallon Park neighborhood. This includes 575 Sunday Rally flyers, 199 Black Power disaster relief campaign flyers, 25 One Africa, One Nation market flyers, 25 Black St. Louis Speaks newspapers, which you can find in the back. And we have made 3 store drops in O'Fallon at the local gas station and 2 corner stores. Everyone we spoke to was very receptive to the call for a response to the city due to the lack of response from the city and the need for community organizing. The community is outraged from the youth to the elderly, all sectors of the community. And that's why many of you are here today. They say that we got to do something, and some of you are here today due to the outreach that was done here in O'Fallon. Who here came due to getting a flyer at your door? All right, I know many of those who were here. Yeah. Got it, right on.
Not gonna be out there with me, right? You ain't gonna let me be out there by myself, right?
I want you all to participate in outreach from door to door, flyering to phone banking, to placing flyers in stores, to even getting the word out on social media. This fight back will take the full mobilizing of our communities. We will do 2 sessions of outreach every single day, every weekday from 11:15 a.m. to 1 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is every weekday. On the weekends, we will have 3 outreach sessions available to you all from 9 a.m. to 12, from 12 to 3, and from 3 to 6. This week, we will work to finish outreach to the rest of O'Fallon and want to start community outreach in College Hill, If you can offer 30 minutes of your time, an hour of your time, 2 hours, to join the fight back and reach out to your community and whoever you know from for community outreach. For all outreach sessions, we will meet at the Uhuru House. This is where we're at right now. We'll be meeting here. If these times don't work for you, the Uhuru House is open every single day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can come in on weekends. You can even get some materials today. Some are in the back if you need some extra materials. And I will be in the back of the table. I will be in the back at the table. And let me know if you are available for outreach or want to take some additional materials with you to share with others. I appreciate you all for being here. And we are winning. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Hey, look, I want to say this chant a couple times. You know, the chairman put on our minds a couple days ago. I want to say 2, 4, 6, 8. Tell the people who we ate. Amarin, Spencer, the whole damn bunch. Okay. When I say who did we hate, y'all gonna say Amarin, Spencer, the whole damn bunch. Okay. Then since I kind of project my voice, let me back up off this mic. Okay. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8. Tell the people who we hate. 2, 4, 6, 8. Tell the people who we hate. Uhuru. That felt good, didn't it? All right. Touch one. Touch one. Uhuru. See, that's one of the chants that we will be doing, you know, Friday. One of the chants we be. But before I say that, let's get one more hint of applause to our Northern Rep Emmanuel. Come on, give us one time. Yeah. That's our Northern Rep. Like I said, this is an international organization. We've been around the block many decades now. But we got branches all over the globe, but not just all over the globe, here in America too. So we gotta have certain reps. We got the Northern Rep in the back. We got the Southern Rep. The Midwest Rep, he left yesterday. But we got certain reps, the Southern Rep. So yeah, see how you can get involved, and we're gonna have a section to tell you how to get involved in this organization that's been doing their things for many years. But Friday, we having demonstrations coming up, and we want to meet here at 10 o'clock. Uhuru, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna gather some literatures, some pamphlets or what have you to pass out to the people. We're gonna have all the signs. We're gonna either create new signs, but anyway, come up here, get your struggle bag, you know, and then we're gonna try to leave out roughly 10:15, 10:30 from here and head downtown to City Hall, where we're gonna raise hell at, right? We typically gonna try to get the demonstration started at 11 o'clock, but that's one of the chants that you heard. I wanted to go over a couple more if y'all don't mind, right? Hey, hey, ho! Somebody gotta go.
Yeah.
So when I say hey, hey, ho, ho, y'all say somebody gotta go, right? Hey, hey, ho! All right.
Yeah.
Karen Spencer, what you said, you know, don't cut the power, especially the people power. Let's cut the politicians' power. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're gonna go down there and we're gonna meet up here, like I said, around 10 o'clock. We want to leave no later than 10:30 with our struggle packs. Struggle pack just simply say a book bag for the literature, sign-in sheet, maybe some water so we won't dehydrate, and we're gonna hit the ground running. Like I said. So by round of applause, which one of us think they would be able to participate in the demonstration? Okay, I got a few down there. I got a few. So I appreciate it. And for those of us that might not be able to make it, we could tell our family, we could tell our friends to show up at 4101 West Florissant at 10 o'clock and send them on out there to raise hell at the city hall because the fight is not over. Uhuru? Uhuru. Now, this is one of my favorite time, which is to open up the mic to hear the concerns. Well, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm so eager to hear from you guys. So right now, I'm gonna bring a Conrad Fofi up, and soon after, we better hear the concerns of Uhuru.
Uhuru, y'all fired up? You gonna be. You gonna be. Okay, this is my chance to invite you all to be a part of this fight back. And we do that with a call to donations and call to membership. Our goal today is $150. The resources go right back into the community. These leaflets you're getting, the papers that you have, the announcements that you hear, the videos that you see, this is all from donations that come right back to you. We want to get out to the community and let them know that we're here. This is their Sunday rally. This is the voice where you can speak what you want and figure out or find out that you got somebody else with the same problem, and we come together to find the answer, okay? If you're online, you can do Cash App at InPDUM. That's InPDUM. Cash App at InPDUM, or you can go to www.inpdum.org/donate. All right. And we'll take cash, checks, and money order. All right. Our goal is $150. And you know what? We can make it. It's here. It's here. And you online, this is how we make sure that you can hear us. You can see us through the Zoom and through the Facebook and what is it? YouTube. We don't have a radio thing, but that's okay. You don't need to hear us. You need to watch us. For membership, InPDUM membership, as you've heard, InPDUM is the organization that organizes the Sunday rally. And we want to open up to everybody to come and get some political education. You won't get it at school. You won't get it at church. You won't get it at a jam session, but you will get it here. Your political education is like having your own name and your own address, because that is your freedom. That is your knowledge and your willpower that's going to make it happen for yourself and your family. The InPDUM organization, as we've been told, started in 1991. And that was Chairman's way of opening up the world of political education to everybody at whatever level you want. You can get a membership as low as $25 a year, or you could get a membership as high as $1,000, which is a one-time lifetime membership. I'm a lifetime member because once I pay that $1,000, I won't pay no more, except what I want to give. But whatever level you start on is the level that you have the same amount of power as anybody else that's a member. Now, if you're behind bars on the other side of colonialism's ugly face, then we've got a $5 membership once a year for members of that's on the other side. So we want to keep them alerted to what's going on with the country, so when they come out, they'll know where we stand and what to do, who to contact, and what they need to do. All right. There's a student membership. There's a student membership that is $10 a year. And if you're unemployed, that too is $10 a year. That's for InPDUM. All right. And comrades, with that, I'm going to come back later with the total that we've gotten. We're gonna make this goal. All right. All right. All right. Uhuru.
Uhuru. And that's one of our ways that we fight. You know, we know it takes money, unfortunately, to run any and everything. So likewise with us, it takes money to bring cold air into this hot heat. You know what I mean? But I want to appreciate our Conrad James for joining last week. So that's it. So our latest InPDUM member. So right on. And once again, this is a organization of organizers. You know, this is a place where if you want to get work done, you come here, get trained in organizing, and you go out to the street and organize. Uhuru, because we know that one voice by itself could be easily muted. But when you got an organization of organizers that don't mind speaking up for your cause, that's when you tend to experience real power. So like I said, this is your organization. This is your home. This is Aquaba. Welcome. Uhuru. And we also greet you with Uhuru, because Swahili, that means freedom. We believe that freedom should stay on our lips, stay on our mind until we win it. The chairman says liberation in our lifetime. No longer can we leave it for the next generation to fight. It got to the point that it's normal for the parents to bury the children. No, that would never be normal. I want to see a generation where my child is free, not me outliving my child. We got to win a liberation in our lifetime. This is your organization. This is the means and the ways to get it done. Uhuru? Right now, I know y'all tired of hearing me speak. But this is the time for us to hear y'all speaking, and you give your concerns. So please, let's bless this mic. Let's hit this mic. So right now, it's time for discussion. Uhuru? Uhuru. Let's give it up for our comrade Zaki Barudi. Uhuru. Uhuru. He's been on the ground for more than 40 plus years trying to overturn the contradiction. So let's give it up for our comrade once again.
Actually, 55.
Over 55 years. I stand corrected.
Uhuru. I just came by to make an announcement. I don't know if everyone is aware that they will be having a public hearing on the so-called $30 million that has been allocated supposedly for relief, and that's going to be Tuesday morning at City Hall at 11 a.m. I don't know if people are familiar with that, so I would encourage you to see that. And then last but not least, we were approached our organization by Sabaye, a longtime organization and Better Family Life, and we're participating in a spiritual march through the devastated areas, starting at Natural Bridge and Newstead this Saturday, excuse me, at asking people to meet up at 9 a.m. And it'll be a New Orleans style kind of spiritual march, ending up at where they'll be doing a Juneteenth activity at Sarah. So we're asking anybody who'd like to participate to wear white and be at the site at 9 a.m. So I just want to give those announcements. Okay.
What's the site?
The site will be at Natural Bridge and Newstead. And I've been running all day. I just came to make sure I make those announcements. So anyway, if you would put that out. And I did send a flyer to the chairman, so maybe he can share it or something.
All right.
Okay.
Flyer, I can probably, I think I can email or text you.
Yeah, send you the flyer. I mean, I sent it to the chairman, I sent it.
I got it.
Oh, you already got it? Okay, good.
Uhuru. Anyone else wanna hit the mic? And while y'all contemplating, you know, this devastation hit the Ville area pretty bad. You know, before they hit the Ville area pretty bad, developers was over there trying to steal that neighborhood. But you know, the Ville is a cherished neighborhood of ours. So much history in it. I don't have time to speak on it now. But make sure we stand up and don't let them gentrify the Ville. Uhuru?
You know what?
Uhuru.
I'm just coming from a meeting where our organization has made a commitment to work in the field.
Uhuru.
And that's the challenge that we gotta get all different organizations across the city to dedicate themselves to various neighborhoods.
Uhuru.
Going door to door. That's right. So I just want to put that out there.
Are you not?
You know, at the last meeting I shared, our base has been right at Newstead and Ashland. So you know, that's a must.
So before you sit down, what are they?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can
What
you?
do they advocate when they go to the door to door?
Hold on. Can you go to the mic and ask a question, please? So for folks that online can hear it, I'm sorry.
Well, it's like he was asking about his activity, but I'll make sure
Don't go too far, young man.
Zachy, I was interested in the door to door that you're gonna be doing. What is information or what's the goal for that particular activity?
Okay. Our activity will be of multiple levels. First of all, we're planning on trying to get an assessment from the people themselves, what they are in need of. We also plan on bringing some wherever needed supplies to them. And then thirdly, we'll be putting together a resource flyer so that they know where to go out, get them. So that's part of what we're doing.
Yeah, you did.
Uhuru? Uhuru. All right, I got a couple of things that I want to get out there as far as what we need, the immediate needs. Then we're gonna turn y'all loose to this beautiful food that Sister Sophia gonna come up and tell us about. But make a long story short, we have 2 trucks out there. We need to be able to organize some folks to come up here, preferably Tuesday, to help us, number one, organize one of the trucks. We still got clothes in there, we still have goods in there. And so we want to be able to organize the clothes, put from the men, women, and kids' clothes, so we can be able to put that back in the community. So we got pretty much one truck that we need organized, and we need to empty the other truck out. Because we have distributors that still giving us, we got 2 warehouses full of stuff. So anyway, our goal is to clear these U-Haul trucks that you see out here, fill them up, warehouse full of needs, and to get back out there. Because as you see, your urban leagues or whatever other institutions is not set up at your parks no more, your YMCAs, etc. I mean, they did a thing for a second, but now they're gone. And so we know that the fight is not over. The fight is not done. So make a long story short, we need people. So how many of us, and don't all jump.
Uhuru, if I could.
Yes, ma'am. Go
on. There are several things, as well as organizing our giveaways. As he was correct, we've got 2 trucks out there, and you see we have supplies here at the back of the room. We need to be able to sort so that we can be able to distribute. Right now, we've given away or met the people's needs for the moment, and we recognize that there are people still have needs. So by show of hands, if people can raise their hand and say, if you have some time to donate on Tuesday evening, I would love to have you come and help to sort these clothes so that we can get them to the people that need them. And the other, we talked about the demonstration. I know that some of you volunteered to do phone banking. I would like to see a show of hands for people that still are prepared and ready to do that. We have got to make a real show on Friday. People's power, I'm one of those people whose power got cut off after they turned it back on. Now I'm having a hell of a time on a property that has been repaired based on this red tag that they put on the building that says it's supposed to be uninhabitable. And then we know that that's not true. When I came up here today, there are city workers or volunteers or whatever they are with SEMA, is that what it is, with the city, that are putting tags on people's homes right now today. Somebody got red tag today, which means by tomorrow, their power will be shut off, which will basically makes your home uninhabitable. We have got to get our neighborhoods out to let the city know that this is unacceptable. They have done nothing for especially the African community. The people down in Wildwood, I understand they got hit a day or so afterwards. It was on Wednesday. I don't hear them complaining about not having anything. I don't hear anybody in that neighborhood complaining about the fact that they don't have power, that they can't get into their home. Every house that has been red tagged virtually on Redbud is vacant right now. Where did the people go? Nobody came to my door and asked me, do you have a place to go? Do you need anything? And we know that we're gonna have to do it ourselves. So I'm asking people, Sister Neil, did you sign up to do phone banking, volunteer to do
I'm
phone
trying to
banking?
get some information about what time it is, and I'll go out a little bit and get my planner. And then
Okay,
that way I can commit to availability, but I had left a message to try to find out what are the parameters and. Do you
well, look,
have
I'll train you. I'll provide everything that you need. I'll provide a script, I'll provide numbers, and we'll set aside a time. We have got to get people out on Friday to this demonstration. Nobody in here should be shy. All of us are at risk if we do nothing. If we do nothing, we're all at risk. So I'm asking that there is a volunteer sheet back there at the back. If you can't raise your hand and make a commitment right now, I need you to put your name on that list. Say, yes, I want to volunteer. I will give you a call. We have work to our own institutions here that still need to be done. So we need people that know how to hammer, saw, paint, all of those things to repair. If we don't repair this community, the city is not going to. It's not in their interest.
Right.
They want Black people, African people on the north side gone. And they don't care how they have to do it. They're doing everything in their power to make sure that people have no information and they have no help.
Right.
And there are plenty of people in our community that need help. Where are all these young mothers? Everybody's going to get just a few diapers and a few cleaning supplies. What does that mean 2 weeks from now? What does that mean a month from now? Especially if you got a slumlord.
Right.
Number one. And number two, suppose you are a homeowner. But I'm elderly. I don't have any sons, daughters, family, grandsons, grandkids, nieces, and nephews to help me. What do? Who helps me? Where are the people that should be walking the street? The city claims to have these volunteers out here. They're not informing people of anything. They're not saying this is where you go if you need to get a hammer, nails, or whatever it is you might need. They're not doing that. They're tagging people's homes. And their objective is to put red tags on them, which the city deems is unlivable. That's what it's supposed to mean. That you can't be there. And to ensure that you're not there, they cut the power off. How do you keep food cold without a refrigerator?
Yeah.
How do you prepare food without your stove? You can't do it. It doesn't happen. So your claim to turn the power off because of safety, it's a safety hazard, it's a safety hazard. But if I'm dead, that's okay? Because I starved to death? Because I can't eat? But what we're supposed to do is go out and beg for charity. Wait for somebody to come along on the street and say, oh, here's where you can go and get a free plate of food. Go stay in a rat-infested hotel somewhere. Suppose I had children. Suppose I had 5, 6 kids, 8, 9, and 10. I am not going to be reduced to being a beggar. Okay? I have much more dignity than that, and each and every one of us in this room does. To do nothing means that you are complicit. It means that you are accepting of the conditions.
Yep.
That's what it means. Yep. Everybody can do something, and I am suggesting, I am imploring everyone in this room, put your name on the list, say you can volunteer and do something, and I guarantee you within 24 hours somebody will call you, and we will get something done together. We can make this neighborhood what it used to be.
Better.
You're right, better. Because I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm really, really mad. But I know that I can take this anger and put it to good use. That's by making sure that we are the ones that own the power. That's right. So again, I'm asking everyone, you can do something. This is the place where you have the opportunity to be able to take your energy and do something with it. You don't have to be just another black person. I feel, well, I wish it was something I could do. Well, you can do something. I don't care what kind of skill you have. This sister here, I think you said you done some legal work. People need to know what their recourse is. What recourse do they have? What do we need to do? We talked last week, put down some suggestions on things that we can do. We need to continue doing that, and we need to go to what?
Friday, is that you have that digital so that they can be scripted?
Yes. Make sure that Zaki gets the digital flyer, Emmanuel, for Friday. So we appreciate you all both for sharing that. Talking to everybody in this room before they leave, put their name down to do something. We can all do something. If we do nothing, again, we are complicit. And that means that we're accepting of the problem.
Uhuru. I just want to kind of reinforce what Akenge said, because a lot of the red tag homes are probably occupied by elderly folks who have no recourse. They're probably on fixed incomes and have no recourse. We need to be able to stand up for them as well. But also to say this, I know that years and years and years of abuse by the city government has made a lot of people apathetic. And we need to overturn that apathy.
Yeah.
So reach out to your friends, to your family, to your neighbors in the North Side and say, hey, look, we can't be afraid to stand up against the St. Louis city government. The St. Louis city government thinks they've had their way with folks. No, they got another thing coming. There should be no way that no political recourse takes place whenever they do something against the Black community. We have to stand up to the St. Louis city government and say, no, Kara Spencer, no, you are not going to treat Black folks like crap any longer. That is totally unacceptable. We have to demand. We're not begging nobody for nothing. And that's the problem. They forced us to beg for too many years. We're not begging anymore. We're demanding. Get up off that $952 million that they're sitting on. Okay, they're sitting on this money. That ARPA funds that came in 2020, they've been sitting on that money. That money was supposed to go out for COVID relief, especially for Black businesses that were being dealt a heavy blow from the shutdowns and everything else. They're still sitting on this money, and they've been using it. When Jones was in office, she said at a cabinet and community meeting over at the O'Fallon Y that they bought some new fire trucks and some new snow plows and did a couple of affordable housing projects with the ARPA funds. And nobody called her out on it. So we have to really be aware of what the city government is doing. Watch the news. I'm telling you, some people say, I don't like to watch news because it's depressing. But if what you don't know can hurt you. I'm saying I'm being just as impassioned about it as the King was impassioned about. We need to come to action. There's no way. We cannot be afraid to take on city government. If we were afraid to take on city government, Uhuru Bakery and Cafe up there on John and West Florissant wouldn't be getting construction work done on it now, so it can open up and become an economic beacon in the community here. Uhuru Bakery and Cafe fought 10 months. We can fight and we can win. Uhuru. Okay, just to keep y'all preview, we have 2 more comments. We're gonna get y'all announcements and we're gonna get some food in your belly. So can you bear with us for a few more minutes? Uhuru.
And I'm only responding to Nkenge's passion because it's real. And I just want to reemphasize, if you haven't really gone out among the people and tried to do something to help the people, shame on it. And I had an experience that touched me beyond at a senior citizen home that lights were out. And the people, the elevator wasn't functioning. And you had people who were disabled, could not get down the steps, and had to be in their apartments all that time, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And we had to walk up 5, 6 floors just to be able to take food to them.
Yeah.
That's what's it all about.
Yeah.
That's what's it all about. And just doing it for one day, damn that. We gotta be out there in the trenches on the real deep end. So I appreciate what you said in Kenge. We gotta take it to heart for real. Our people suck. And this ain't no play game.
Can you tell us what senior citizen building it was?
Actually, it was on Pershing. And it was a combination of black and white.
Pershing Delmar.
Right out Union. If you go, I don't know the name of it, but it's right out. If you're going down Union, you make a right, and it's kind of like in the middle of the block. I can give you the address, but it was touching. I'm always brought tears. Touching.
I had kind of more of a question, as you know, I'm new, so I'm trying to put all the pieces together. I'm glad to know who you are, who's been texting me.
Yes.
So, I'm learning as I go, but, question that I had was, there was a woman, and I know that you know her, cause you were Westbrook, cause you were, she's in your neighbor or something. But she was a woman that was here, and she was talking about getting the youth involved. And the youth that she seemed to be describing in particular, like teenagers and stuff like that, and that's a really important. Because you know, we need them, you know what I'm saying? We need them to be the legs and the arms and whatever piece of it that they can be. We need everybody, you know, we don't have any people to spare. You know, but I would be interested in finding out more about her connection and, you know, what's the next step of, you know, because she's very passionate about it, which is wonderful. But what she was bringing was a value, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the more that you can distribute the help, the more you can get done. So.
It sound like you put a what you call it? committee. It seems like a committee has been formed. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a committee is being formed. Okay, don't worry about it. We're gonna call you and put the committee together. Committee.
Yeah, one of the activities that these young people can do is outreach. You know, that would be the primary thing that I would put them to, is to do outreach, help go door to door and do drops and whatnot. That's a great activity for them.
If anybody knows any young people that,
She was,
yeah,
and she said, she lives in the neighborhood.
well, we will call her, and the issue, everyone, is that we can't just be in here talking about what we would like to do. We have to actually get up and do something. That's why I made the call to say that everybody in here, before you leave, I know you signed in when you came, but make a commitment to do something. We're not in here talking just for the sake of talking. People are hurting, and they're our people, Black people, people that look like us, and the city isn't coming to help. They're not coming. Don't wait on it. Don't wish on it. Don't pray on it. It's not going to happen. So we have to be the ones that are doing it. So if you know that sister, as a matter of fact, I just saw her just a little bit ago, and I was surprised that she didn't come in. But it's not enough to just say what you think should happen or what you hope's gonna happen. Be the one to do it. Just do it. And we can do it. We have a place right here that allows us to organize together. So let's use it. You don't have to wait for somebody else to do it. The door is open right here. Thank you.
No, you said 2 more people, but I'm gonna be fine.
So it's open. Come on up. It's open.
But I know that there are, I'll just put it this way. My thought when I came here was that we were gonna re-implement stuff or going out to do stuff. So I appreciate the conversations, and it's probably something that's been occurring. I know it's been something that's been occurring, but I think at this point we may need to change the meetings that we have on Sundays to where we hear this stuff at the beginning. Because, if I would have left early, I would have known that you had it. So this stuff needs to be done, at the beginning. That's powerful wisdom at this point. We had 3, 5 people leave. That's resource, that's people power that just left out. They could have helped, or they could have had, so we have to use wisdom and start doing stuff at the beginning. Have a list of activities that's needed, which you say you have it there. And let people know from the beginning. Don't just wait at the end and start begging. It's not helping. People want to help. And so that's just I had to say something, because I'm like, we have to use wisdom at this time. I know we're used to doing certain things this way, but it's not helping. I know there's a lot of research. I'm watching Mr. Gary, them young people. Somebody mentioned that Red Cross is giving out $600. Only $500 to $600. Only 600 people have signed up for it. That's stuff that we need to be out on the field, that people know. That was my first thought when this happened. What document is needed so people can start applying for stuff? That's a resource that people in the community, only 600 people have signed up. So the Mound City legal, they and another bar association, I believe, they're offering free legal help. There's stuff out there that we need to be talking about now to share with the people.
Okay, can I, these are great resources, and these are the kind of things that we're looking for.
Right.
Can I ask you, meet with you for a few minutes then before you leave? I want to take down some of this information. These are the things that we're trying to compile.
Right. Exactly.
We have the Black Power Blueprint that is trying to, as rapidly as they get the information, trying to get it out to the people. So if I can take a few minutes of your time, get that information from you, and what I'd like to do is to be in contact with you every day if necessary, if you find something new, so that we can get it out. One of the things also too is that this whole thing with the power is a very serious issue. I know that, you know, people need money to replace. I don't think people need money, don't need $600 just to go stay in a hotel for a few more days. They need placement. They need a home. They need to be able to get back into their home. And one of the things that if that red tag is the thing, the yellow tag, the green tag, whatever color tag, because now they look like they're orange, and that may mean something totally different, is we've got to be able to help people navigate through this whole maze of no information. Yeah. Because that is the thing that is critical. Right. Each and every one of us has, and people out there have the ability to be able to help themselves and will help themselves if they know what the hell to do. But the city is not telling people what to do. But I want to be in touch with you, myself, and we'll work with the Black Power Blueprint to compile this information, get it out online. We can build our own fact sheet and take it to the streets ourselves. That can be part of what is in our outreach packet as we are walking the streets, making sure that our people have the things that they need to be able to not just survive, but to live. So I'm making that commitment myself with you. And if you'll make it with me, then we're going to form. And we're going to bring more people into this process so we can keep gathering more and more and more resources to help each other.
Uhuru comrades, we had $150 goal. So far, we have $90. And I don't know what we've gotten online. So I think if I can get 10 more dollars, we'll level it at 100.
I did 10.
Okay. Oh, you did 10 online. See, I don't have any idea what's online. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll just say thank you, Uhuru. Sophia.
You stop. You stop.
Uhuru, everyone. She's trying to force me to get a step up.
We trying to see her head.
But I'm here to do announcements for today. And do we have okay, so Nina is the neighborhood Northside Independent Neighborhood Association, which is formed by this organization here to keep the community together as opposed to how they separate us into different communities. But this organization is for the entire North Side, not just a particular neighborhood in the North Side, but for the entire North Side, because that's one of the tactics that's always been used. Separate the people. The less people you have, the easier it is to defeat them. So by combining it, now that organization is able to make their voices heard and get the demands that they're looking for to be met. So the first year of Nina is free. So anyone who lives on the North Side or has any interest on the North Side is able to join this association and become a part of making the North Side a better place, what it should be. Our next announcement is going to be getting your merchandise for Nina so you can represent your neighborhood association for those that may not be aware that Nina exists. So you can get buttons, pins, shirts. We do have some items in the back today if you want to be a part of that and get that. See, Ali, do we have applications as well, or is there something that they need to do in order to sign up so that if anybody wants to sign up?
They can come to see me and I will get them an order form for the t-shirts. And the buttons back there, $3 for a button, or you can get 2 for $5.
And membership.
And membership is free. And we have membership forms for you. And you can also go online to get memberships. But I can also bring hard copy that you can sign.
And this is the Neighborhood Association president here. So that's Ciali, if you have any other information you need regarding that. And then the next one is we have work days for the Gary Brooks Farm, which is the garden that you see right across the street from us. They need the community to come out and help work the garden, pull weeds and beautify the area. I don't know if they're still doing any planting, but we have work days to get the community involved with the garden. It's a fun time to kind of meet and mingle with the people that are part of the different organizations that we have, as well as some of the students and volunteers that are out there as well. And then just being able to provide the produce for the community. And if you want to learn how to garden, that's another great opportunity to get that experience as well. And then our next one is the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market. That is one that we do every year. This year is going to be from June. So our first one's going to be June 21st through October. We do it once a month. That's where we're providing produce and things that the community can use at our markets. We have very low rates. So if you have things that, if you want to be a vendor, if you're a food vendor, or if you're if you have art that you make or anything like that, we have very affordable rates starting as low as $35 per market, and then $133 for the entire season if you're interested in doing that, just to put a little bit more money in your pocket. However, if you're a gardener and you have a community garden and you want to sell your produce there, there is no fee for you to do that. If you need any information regarding that, you can see me. And one of the things, because of we usually have it in O'Fallon Park, and because of the damage that was done to the park, we're going to use our own space here at the garden that we have over here to host the One Africa, One Nation Market this year. So it'll be all set up over here in this area, likely on the sidewalk, depending on the amount of vendors. So if you have not, if you hadn't heard about it and you want information and you want to become a vendor, you can see me. We also have different programming available for it as well. So like the first one is going to be our Juneteenth event. So if you have some programming that you want to do around that, we can see about getting you a space to handle that. As well as we also need people to help organize those events too. If you're interested in being able to put that event on, add something else to your resume, or if you already have experience doing event planning and things like that, let me know as well, because we do need more hands on the ground to get this market off the ground and set off so it can be a better market each year that we do it. Then we have the Burning Spear. We want to make sure you get your copy today. We have a few copies on the table back there. They're $1 per paper. And then you can also purchase them in bundles if you have other people that you want to provide them to. You can sell them, and then I believe you can get them and then earn a little bit of money if you sell them individually. So you can get your subscription. You can also get a digital subscription if that's something you would be interested in. You can go online to I can't remember the exact site, but we can get that information. It should be on the flyer. BurningSpearMarketplace.com, and you can get your subscription. So you can get a paper copy mailed to your home, or you can get one where it's emailed to you, or you can get both. And that's where you can find out all of the work that the Uhuru movement is doing throughout the world. Because we have not just what we're doing here in St. Louis, not just what we're doing here in the United States, but all across the world where we have sites that are going on, and to help you stay up on your political education. So make sure you get your copy of the Burning Spear. We do have some free copies of our old subscription, so you can kind of see what it's like if that's something you're interested in as well. And then InPDUM studies on Thursdays. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you don't quite understand some of the things that are either being talked about here or some of the things that are just happening in the world, and you want to understand politics a little bit better, they do have a study every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's a Zoom meeting where you can just log on. You can, if you want to participate, ask questions, things like that, you can, or if you just want to hear what's being discussed. And usually it's our the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement president is the one that hosts that session. And I think I heard something that they're partnering with the African National Women's Organization, which is also the one that puts on the farmers market. They're hosting that together to kind of talk about the women's roles and different things like that. So each week you'll get an email if you go online and sign up for it. You'll get an email to with the subject of what they will be discussing for that week, as well as if there's some reading material, you'll get that. And then as well as the agenda, they usually do the political education, kind of like what we do here at the beginning. So that's something you really, I think, would be very beneficial to a lot of people. Then you get to kind of, study with people, again, from all around the world. We have people that log in from Africa and different locations as well, there as well. And then the other thing that we need is to help build the Sunday rally. If you've come here today and you like what you're hearing, or if you, like some people said, they want to see things done a bit better, invite people who you know that have those type of experience similar to what we have, where you're organizing, planning on going out into the community. Invite them here, because we're trying to get it to where it's bigger, it's better. We have more hands to do the work that's needed and not relying on just a few. But then we can also set up subcommittees to handle those particular things that we can't you wouldn't necessarily need the entire body to do. So we're just looking for you to spread the word about building the rally. If you have any ideas, you can talk to any of us that are a part of the membership. And then also make sure you get your membership as well, because that also helps, and it shows, puts a commitment on you that you like what you hear, you want to be interested, and you want to take on that responsibility. And now we have Karamu. So this week we're going to have cornbread. Yum, 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 yum. Thank you, Missy Meal. And we'll have a black bean soup. And then we also have a bean and vegetable soup, and crackers and other little fixings and salad and everything else to go along with that. But for next week, we're looking at doing tacos. So I want to try to see if we can get some people here today that are interested in being able to bring in some fixings for that as well. I will do the shredded chicken. Is there anyone to do a vegan meat for that? Okay, we got Fofi for the vegan meat.
I'll bring the hard and soft tacos.
Okay, so it's Westbrook on shells.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Can I bring the
You can bring everything if you want. Oh, you want beef?
I was just doing.
Yeah, you can bring beef if you want. I got the smaller crock pot. I can put that in too if you need a crock pot, or if you have one, then that works too. Then you're all good. Okay, so beef is and I won't do.
I'm saying, I thought you said chicken, then we're gonna have beef, then we can have vegan, or they're doing too much.
No, vegan. I don't have to do chicken. I can do sour cream and some other stuff. So Westbrook.
Bring the meat.
Okay, so Westbrook on beef. And then
And shells, that's it, right?
oh, you want to do shells and okay.
And soft.
Hard and soft. Okay, and then like sour cream, lettuce, guacamole, salsa. Do I have anybody that, okay, I see Miss Kitty.
The Mexican 3 cheeses.
Okay, the cheese blend. Oh yeah, we do need cheese.
Won't be a taco without.
Right. Is that gonna be vegan cheese or no?
It's vegan, I'll get it.
Okay. We have like half and half people who are vegan and people who are meat eaters, so that's why we always ask that. And then for sour cream, any other fixings? Anybody? I got any volunteers?
I'll bring some lettuce and tomatoes.
Okay, good. And that's Emil, right? And Stephanie, I saw your hand.
Yeah, whatever you want me to bring.
Okay. We'll see what we don't have and then we can figure it out and then I can give you a call.
And about the.
How soon do you need to know? Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, a dessert and a drink and water. Well, I think you still have enough water, right? Okay, so we have enough water. If you want something different to drink other than water, then if you want to volunteer that'll be an option as well. But outside of that, I will go wash my hands and get ready to serve you all. Want to thank everybody for coming out. It was a very good meeting. I thank everyone for the input that they provided. it will not be falling on deaf ears as much as I can try to help with that.
But if I can quickly remind y'all, before we check out or before we leave, especially Miss Lady, how you doing? Before we leave, can you grab some of these flowers on this table and pass it out to our neighbors, our loved ones, to get the word out that you are doing legislation, that we're all fighting on y'all behalf. So yes, can you grab a few flyers and let's put them out in the living room? And let's eat, y'all. Let's eat.